All right, here we go. You guys ready? All right. In 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to, I don't know what the hell this is. It's not No Vacancy Live. It's not Friday Night Audit. It's something in between. But I'm excited because I am here in the great state of North Carolina to attend Raines annual conference. And I got with me Mr. Kerry Ranson across from me, Mr. Gray Raines, and David Tart. David, everyone's been wanting me to ask this question. Are you related to Jamie Tart from that TV show?
Yes, I am.
Over there. Yeah, you soccer player or football?
Famous, no. He spells it with an extra T.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just proud of myself that I've been catching up with actual TV shows these days. So how are you guys going? Thanks for having me down here at your conference.
It's a great day in Waynesville, North Carolina. We're glad to have you here with us, Cliff.
Yeah, and not only that, we are at like the newest member of your portfolio, aren't we?
Absolutely. Beautiful Waynesville Inn and Golf Club. We're excited to have the golf course open, the historic hotel, and a couple golf cottages right out the gate. And it's been busy.
Okay.
It's been a busy summer.
Kerry, is it your dream come true to be able to come here and play anytime you want?
It's special every time I come here.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm glad to have you up here. Like every time we can get people up here to be able to see this and feel it.
Yeah.
It's just special. I mean,
yeah,
the backdrop is unbelievable.
It really is. So I've been doing my research while you guys were out being with the team and stuff like that. And you just ended a 2-year renovation on this property. So it looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks brand new on the inside, but it's got this great mountainy kind of old school vibe about it too. It's really a perfect combination, right?
Rustic elegance. It really is. I mean, folks are coming in, they're staying. The nostalgia from somewhere that's over 100 years old. Absolutely was the place in the 60s, 70s, 80s, kind of before it started its decline. So for us to be a steward and bring it back to where it was and then build something for the history for the next 100 years. That's
absolutely awesome. So David, you know, what are you thinking about this property as a reflection of where you are right now with Raines?
Well, I mean, it's absolutely when we look for opportunity and you find a market like this, a smaller market.
Could you get you a little closer to the mic? It'll sound a little bit better.
You have to be a bit unique in your approach. You know, maybe things like this get passed by because they're not in a big MSA or anything like that. This is something we pride ourselves in and we get super passionate about. Try to deliver a product.
I'll say it's interesting. You say that not in the biggest MSAs, but the smaller markets have been doing amazing over the last few years, right? As everybody's kind of rejiggered what they want out of it, an experience. And my big belief, and we didn't really talk about this today, is like alternative lodging is going to be the next big thing. Anything you could do to be outside, right? We spent a lot of years in the industry bringing the outside in, which is called biophilic design. And now we're really doing stuff with the outside, right, Kerry?
Biophilic.
I know. It's like, I feel dirty just saying that word.
I think what's been great about this, or you look at the foundry with Woven, is the community piece as well. So what's special with our members here is when they come in and there's people that have lived here, they were here before, and there's such an appreciation for what's been brought back. And it is, you sit back on the back porch to be able to see the mountains and the weather come in and go out, or just to see the sunrise or sunset. It's so special that, you know, I think what David and Gray have done from bringing that atmosphere and that feel to, hey, you know, we're a club, but we're not over the top.
Right.
Like you feel comfortable. You see the members on the back talking to one another. You come as a couple to just enjoy it. That's been the other piece when you asked about, you know, hey, I love coming and I don't want to leave because of what's happening just around you. Just people can't get enough of what the backdrop looks like and the feel in the building itself.
This is a beautiful part of the country, Gray. I've never been to this part of the country. It's like making me wonder why I spent so much time in cities.
Absolutely. Well, it's something certainly post-COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, people are looking for a reason to get outside. And the thing about here, I mean, we have a world-class new Bobby Weed designed golf course along with the historic Donald Ross design. And to be able to pair those two up, it's just a small part of the story of what makes this property so successful. We're 8 minutes from the Blue Ridge Parkway, world-class fly fishing, I mean, mountain biking, hiking, everything that you want to do. We've always thought that this would be a central meeting place and something to visit the property, but then explore all that Western North Carolina has to offer.
So how's this really reflective of your overall strategy as an organization, do you think?
So, I mean, a couple years ago when we decided to launch 2 divisions of our management company, this falls under our Woven division, which is boutique, independent, luxury, soft branded assets. Right. And this fits right in with exactly what we're doing. Our leadership team there focused on these style assets and the discipline that's required to make them successful. So this is all of what they do wrapped into one project.
That's interesting, David. Soft brand as your strategy. Tell me a little bit more about that.
I mean, when soft brands started to really pick up, what I loved about it being more on the development side is, oh, wait a minute. You mean I can tap into the Hilton reservation system, yet we can be more creative with how we design rooms, with how we can design I mean, that right there, let's take it and run with it.
Yeah.
Because we all hear about the experiential traveler, right? And if we can focus on that experience, and that's what this is. I mean, the other part about this property and being outdoors, there's mountain streams running through this property that they were covered up with brush. You could hear it, but you couldn't see it.
Right.
And now what we've sort of been able to do here is capture the historic building, but it's like you're here right now. You want to be outside. You don't want to be in here. You want to be out there.
No, mostly I figured that's because people just didn't want to talk to me. But thank you for making it seem like nature is part of it.
Out of this.
Yeah. So it's interesting, Kerry. I hadn't really thought about before what he was just saying about how people are really looking for more experiences and how that reflects itself in the soft brand kind of universe, right? Because we've always looked at it as owners being able to express themselves, but I guess it allows you to be in a position to allow the guests to express themselves too.
Well, exactly, because I think you're seeing it now more and more, where the guests want to be in that environment. They want to be, whether it's the neighborhood or the backdrop, and they want that feel, not the cookie cutter.
Right.
Hey, every room looks the same. Everything we do looks the same.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's where Woven gives us a great opportunity too, is you're taking calculated chances in some of these smaller towns that people would have never looked at as great opportunities for, whether it's corporate outings, association outings, just family outings or group outings that they would have never even looked at before, that gives us a chance. I mean, David's story on how he found this just opens up, whether it's Florence and the same thing in downtown, what we did with Hotel Florence and the Foundry. It just opens up so many opportunities for us that I think we've made a niche to be able to find these little opportunities from a lifestyle perspective and bring the outside in as well as the inside out of, hey, you're going to feel this community when you pull up and you do those things. And I think David has a great word that it's not vibe. Yeah. You walk in and there's everything you touch and feel is going to be that community, whether it's the soap we use, the music that's there, the furniture, et cetera. It gives us that freedom to do those things.
It's really interesting. Also, I'm really starting to connect the dots a lot more with what you're talking about here. It opens it up to people with the soft brands and being in a reservation system. Like, I never necessarily would have thought to come to this particular town. So because of that, I never would have searched for it and found a delightful independent property. But by being tied into it, into the system, it might suggest that sort of an experience for me, right?
We're able to curate the story, but give us all the best pieces of the rewards programs, the reservation systems, all of those that have the millions of rewards followers and travelers. So to us, it's the best of both worlds.
What are owners looking for, David?
What are owners?
Yeah.
Other than margins and profitability. I mean, for here, and I don't mean to, obviously we feel like we know what we're doing on hotels. How do we deliver a hotel that has experience, something special, something that we know differentiates ourselves? But, and I'll go back to the golf component too. COVID injected the golf business, right? And when we talk about vibe, we talk about fun, we didn't do this to be a over the top, I hate to say it, stuffy type of country club. This is fun. You get here and it's reflected in the hotel, it's reflected in the golf. And as Grace said, there's so much more in the Blue Ridge Mountains, right? It's like fishing and the Blue Ridge Parkway and hiking and all of that. So as far as an ownership, and I'm one of them, when I look at that, I go, what's going to be sustainable?
Right.
What's going to drive my margins? What's going to create something that people start to talk about? And with, a strong reservation system and soft brands, you can bring the people that, are looking for the groups, they're looking for the corporate outings, that kind of thing in a place like this.
Yeah, and I think that's so important. People are really looking to experience things in a different sort of way right now. So how did you find this particular property? As Kerry said, there's an interesting story behind it.
Well, it was. I mean, we have a pretty successful property in downtown Asheville, and I was coming up with one of our employees.
That Asheville's like, what, 35 minutes from here or so?
30 minutes east of here. And this particular employee, I would take him to play golf on occasion. And he mentioned this market. And I said, sure, I'll pop over there. So I divert and I come over here. And the first thing, and look, this, as Grace said, this place was iconic in the, call it 1950s, 1960s. And then over time had a steady decline. So when I pulled up, it was overgrown, but you see this building that's
it's gorgeous.
It was built in the early 1900s, but it's got that sort of interesting Western North Carolina feel. It almost feels like it's got some Grove Park elements, some Frank Lloyd Wright architectural elements. So that was really cool. And then you walked up to this back patio and you walked out and you looked at the vistas. And while there was no sand in the bunkers and there were weeds growing everywhere, I called Gray and I was like, get up here. This is something special.
Right.
And you got to have the vision, right? And then you apply the vision.
And that's the whole thing, because, when we're at those financial events and stuff like that, you keep hearing that over and over again. You're trying to find properties that have potential, that have yet to be realized. That sounds like this experience was a real dream come true in that, particularly set against the backdrop of it's getting more challenging to find properties like that, right, Greg?
Absolutely. I mean, right now, we're looking at 25 or 30 deals to find one.
Right.
And, it's tougher than it ever has been. But at the end of the day, we are hotel operators. We've been in this industry a long time. The company's been around a long time, and we're going to be around for a long time. So for us, even any minor downturn is just a blip on the radar.
Let's also know that there's timing and luck and all of that.
Right.
I mean, the things that lined up with this opportunity and Bobby Weed having ties to this market. I mean, it all just lined up in the right time. So I'm not embarrassed to say that.
There were 25 or 30 touch points that if at any point one of those hit a hiccup, it would have killed this project.
Right.
We're like, if we're going to do if this happens, we'll keep going.
Is that typical of a lot of deals that you're trying to get into?
More so here. I mean, we're pioneering with the golf element, and for us, typically a hotel deal. I mean, we've been doing that a long time, so we're able to kind of dive in, underwrite. We are hotel operators above everything else. So typically for our hotel project, we can jump in and make that decision quickly. This one had so many moving pieces and unknown elements that it took time to make sure that we were doing the correct diligence.
So how does it feel once you get into it and you're in that learning process? It must be, I would say, a combination of scary, exciting, thrilling, nerve-wracking, all of that kind of stuff.
Oh my God.
Right.
A lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of nights going, man, we're really good at building hotels. Why are we jumping into this? And, it's something David and I are passionate about, the game of golf. Golf has been good to us. And it was something that, we also wanted a new challenge. We wanted something to keep us up with.
Your friend comes and stays for the first time and you go, how did it go? And they go, great. And you go, did it?
Right. For real. Give me the real story.
Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. I want to hear. And honestly, people have been blown away. And that's what's cool.
Yeah. So that to me, all of this is fascinating to me because you really want to push yourself professionally, right? I think for me, I've tried to reinvent myself every 10 years, partially out of boredom, partially out of necessity, partially out of, I got to keep doing things differently in order to keep things fun. So it sounds to me that you're trying to push your boundaries and get into different areas instead of just doing the same type of project over and over and over again because you know it.
This is an easy project to become very passionate about.
Right.
And it was something that we jumped in, all in. And I think that's one of the things that we really bring to the woven side of what we're doing these projects are all hands on deck. We're going to see it from top to bottom. We're going to program it, and then we're going to deliver a product that people are really responding to.
So 25 to 30 deals you're looking at in order to get one sort of thing.
And some of those may be looks that are 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
Some of those may be looks that we spend months
Really?
just to get to a point that it's a no.
Wow.
But we've always been very selective as a company. One of the things we say internally and externally is we say no a lot more than we say yes, whether that's the management side, the development side, because we're passionate about every project we pursue, and we're passionate about picking the right partners.
Yeah. And how do you do that, though, on a practical day-to-day basis? Because it's one of those things that sound great, but when you've got payroll to make and you've got a lot of these types of pressures, people are sometimes tempted to make decisions that don't match the overall vision, but hit a short-term goal.
Because that's not who we are as a company.
Right.
It's never been the way we are. I mean, we don't answer to private equity. We don't
Right.
answer to a board that is only concerned about a 30-day return or a 90-day return. At the end of the day, we make long-term decisions because
Right.
that's what's best for our associates and it's what's best for the company.
Now, when I spoke to you guys in January, you had just consummated the union between the former HP and Raines. So that partnership, it sounds like it's exactly like the type of thing you're looking for, finding the right partners. What really made you appeal to you guys coming together, and how's that playing out now nearly a year later?
Well, that was 15 years in the making.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think that's it. I mean, it was nothing that we jumped into lightly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that we knew each other, we knew our companies, we knew our visions, and those aligned. And then it was whether or not we could find a way to make a deal come together. But no, integration's going really well. It's an 18-month process
Mhm.
at the bottom. And no, I couldn't be happier. The biggest thing is our people
Right.
have combined very quickly. Our folks, when we got them together, that alignment happened faster than I think we ever thought it would.
Really?
And
Kerry?
better than it. So I think it's a testament to people coming into an organization knowing that the growth is ahead of us. It's not oh, well, you do the same thing I do, one of us is going to get phased out. It's walking in going, we absolutely need both of us here
Right.
to be successful.
Yeah.
Between the three of us, and I know you'll agree, it's like-minded vision and where we want to go and the runway we have in front of us.
Yeah, it's kind of, I gotta be honest, a little spooky because you all seem to be really on the same page with absolutely everything.
You saw it
Yeah.
today.
All right. So we're at the leadership conference, and I had the great opportunity to host a session getting to know these folks. And we played a really fun game where we'd be like, which one of you three is, and they'd all have to hold up their, name cards. They each had one of each. And y'all were like really aligned on every single answer. I think
And we didn't have the questions.
No,
That was the scariest part. I know for sure for me.
Yeah.
David probably was really freaking out.
right. Yeah. No, but
ready to go.
yeah, but it really tells me that even though this deal came together quickly, it was really based on that 15 years of getting to know each other and becoming friends and building a level of trust. And that's one of the things that are so essential these days in business. So how are you building trust with potential owners and developers that want you to manage it in this kind of like weird market if you haven't known them for a number of years?
I mean, I think you start with
Yeah.
something like this,
Mhm.
and it's the fact that you're delivering what we're promising we're
Right.
going to deliver, and then from it, everybody that's in it seeing a vision and then being able to come and touch and go, wow,
Yeah.
this is more than I ever thought.
Mhm.
And look, we're in some tough times, so it's not perfect. But at the end of the day, I think everybody's seeing where this is really heading and being able to deliver in that, but also delivering, I think, efficiencies for them to say, hey, there's a bigger picture here, and these guys are
Right.
innovating. They're coming to life with what, hey, that delivers. Look, you know me.
I do.
And you asked the question,
Mhm.
how does this work? How do you
Yeah.
find the right partners?
Yeah.
You don't do business with assholes.
No, right.
I mean, we've been in this long enough
Mhm.
that, I think for that, you sit there and go, look, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it with the right people and people that make sense. And I think it's quick to sit down, especially with us, and go, how do we get there? And the fairness of what's good for you, good for me. And hey, we may not all get to the best answer,
Mhm.
but is it a win for me and a win for you? And do you want to work together? And I think that's quick when you're in our world long enough. You sniff through it.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I think we've been lucky too. I mean, we've been lucky with mentors that have taken us down a path to go, hey, like what you're doing, let me show you how to get there. And we've been sponges to take it and then give back too. And I think it's opened up some opportunities for us, and I think hopefully opening up more, because the Raines group has done such a great job of ground up figuring right places, and then you expand it. And we've done things where we have feet on the ground, operating assets, intimately knowing market, to where when we talk about vibe, like we're delivering because we live in the market. We're not on a plane from Texas dealing with a hotel in Pittsburgh. For us, it's calculated. We're going to do where we have feet on the ground. Can we honestly, intimately know a market to be able to deliver this kind of stuff?
And if we can't make changes and improve an asset, we're not going to take it on. I mean, we're not driven by just getting another contract. It's got to be the right fit, and it's got to be long term.
I'm really impressed by the discipline, again, that you have, really trying to understand things before making that decision in order to, I would say, eliminate friction between relationships and create the best scenario for profitability.
And overall. It's hard. It's hard because you got partners that go, hey, I have something in Pittsburgh.
Right.
I really want you to do it. We don't have anything in Pittsburgh. Is it enough rooms? Is it enough revenue? Can we go put someone there? If the answer is no, well, then we're going to go find someone else to put there. And a lot of people aren't going to say no. And even for yourself, you question and say, should we say no? Because then we may not get another chance at something. But for us, it's right. And the right partner is going to come back on, thank you for doing it. Thank you for telling me no, the right partner. If not, you're potentially somewhere, and what you've done great in another city may not be delivered that same way. And then we just lost a great partner we have 3 other assets with.
Right. That's a really good point too. Better to understand where you can perform in order to make sure everybody is safe and happy in this. So great. What does that mean then in terms of you expanding? Does that mean like you want to go for a lot more multiple properties in those markets, or do you slowly expand to new areas and stuff?
Slowly expand with the right partners in the right places. Again, it's being able to bring value to those partners, and then it's being in markets that we're going to invest in, and that investment doesn't necessarily have to be capital, but it can be human capital. If we're going to put our people into that market, and we're willing to do that for a period of time because we invest in those markets, then we're going to be there for a long time. And that's exactly how we approach every opportunity that comes our way.
That's absolutely critical. So David, let's get you back in on this. Are hoteliers or investors in hotels looking when they're creating properties to just like buy existing assets, or are they looking to build at this point? Because as everybody out there knows who's educated, it's getting a lot tougher to necessarily build. But some of the deals, there aren't really any deals out there necessarily to buy either.
I mean, I find myself talking to investors, and you almost resetting what the expectation might be in terms of a IRR or an annual cash on cash return. It wasn't too long ago, and we talked about this, where interest rates were kind of where they are today. And didn't we get spoiled?
I hate to say it was long.
Well, I lived it.
I know, we lived it.
And so I find myself, as we are underwriting, and to answer your question, I think they're looking at both. They're looking at opportunity. It has to be something unique, something special that's driving an acquisition to reposition, or it's a tax credit deal that you can do now because you've got that layer of that capital stack helping. And we like those projects, right? You just have to roll up your sleeves and be able to work on them.
So how do you find deals these days? Because it's like all I hear is off-market deals. But how do you figure that out?
I'm a believer that we get the phone call from the broker a lot. I come back to the best deals that we've done, and delivered on are the ones that we just rolled up our sleeves and uncovered ourselves and assembled ourselves. Or like this one, for example, was identifying an opportunity and then spending the time with the current owner to try to put a deal together.
It took 8 to 9 months just to get the property under contract.
And
that a lot of folks would have
given up.
It's a lot of work. mean, it really is.
It sure is, but I'm starting to have that philosophy in life of you might as well put the time in, because 9 months from now, it'll still be 9 months from now, and you might as well have something to show for it, right?
Well, not every deal cycles back around.
Right.
I mean, if it's something you believe in, it's something we could create a
Right.
vision for, we're going to roll up our sleeves.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too. Out of these cycles, whether it was the Great Recession or post-COVID, doesn't there always come this time where there's all this capital out there waiting to pounce
Right.
on, and then you kind of go, well, they never really found it. But I believe it's because they're waiting for somebody to bring it to them, and there's not the grind of uncovering what it is.
Right.
So therefore, then they aren't able to deploy as much as they would have hoped for coming out of some market cycle or something.
Yeah. Fascinating. Kerry, do you want to add to that?
Look, I think that is the case, that they want you to bring it to them and you're doing all the work. And it's like, well, we're going to do all the work. We'll do the deal ourselves. I appreciate that about our partnership now. David's really pushed and saying, hey, where's the next Waynesville? Like, as we're watching this cycle happen,
Right.
where are those next points? Like, where can we go and hit in close vicinities of where we are to find these opportunities like this? Like, we got to dig deeper. And I think that is our only opportunities are going to be what we make right now. So look, we love working with all the brokerage firms. I think we have great relationships with them, but at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff is happening with us on a peer-to-peer discussion. Hey, we've heard what you've done. We're looking at something, or we potentially have something. Is this something what you would be wanting to look at? I think more importantly, with where we are, you're not on the institutional side. We have good investors. Time kills deals. And sometimes on that side, that's exactly what happens. You can't get it done because you're having to go through every check and limit of, oh, I got to go this way or that way to get an answer. Whereas with us, hey, the answer's quick. If we can deliver, this is the outcome, this is our return on investment, we're quick to be able to make a decision and get something done.
Yeah. How, as we start to think about wrapping up this conversation, what are you most excited about, Greg, in general in the industry? Any one aspect of it that you are finding yourself jazzed about?
I'm jazzed about our growth. I'm jazzed about the opportunities coming our way.
Yeah.
I mean, our phone's been ringing. I mean, since the HP acquisition, the opportunities that are coming our way. I mean, we have a couple big announcements we're hoping to make before the end of the year.
Good.
It shows exactly the work we've been putting in to bring this team together to something that is really special.
Aside from Kerry being a really big deal, right? You guys coming together, do you feel like maybe now that you have, you're a larger company and stuff like that, I'll give you a chance to defend yourself, that is making you more appealing?
Absolutely.
Right. And that's kind of why you did this, right?
Our footprint's larger, our pricing power is better. The fact that we're also owners and operators,
right,
it brings a lot to the table with that third-party management piece. I mean, we're good at each piece of it. We've got a team assembled to really be successful. Yeah.
Now, Kerry, we're going to be talking a little bit more later this week, and I want to talk then a little bit more about like technology and suppliers that we work with and all of that kind of stuff in the industry. But you're probably thinking a lot as you integrate about reinventing how things are done, because now's a perfect opportunity, right?
What's worked for us is 20 to 30 hotels isn't going to work for us for 60 or 100, and so that's the piece that we need to be prepared for. I think as we continue this pattern, is everything we're doing is we're not even 50. We're 100. What do we need to do to be 200 in the right way? How do we deliver the best stuff? How are we getting things that are helping us see things before they happen? To where we can push our field team to say, hey, we're going to have to adjust what we're doing in this market to deal with it. That's the next pieces for us.
Right. So you're going to be employing a bunch of psychics. Is that what you're going to do?
That's a great strategy.
I like that.
Absolutely. I mean, Cindy has to screen today is enough. I'm like, we need to invest.
She's like, she is definitely psychic adjacent.
No matter what.
I know.
It's good stuff.
She's got a great book. Go get that. Now, David, any final thoughts about what you're thinking about these days?
I want to kind of respond to the question
absolutely
too, because what I'm excited about is best practices. Like when we pull these two organizations together, and whether we're looking at a big market or a small market, whatever, It's how do we differentiate ourselves from the competition and
Right.
sit in front of a owner or an investor and go, here's why you should work with us. And it's years of experience. I mean, these guys on operations have this is what I'm excited about. And it's best practices, because when I started, it was building a hotel and looking to a management company to deliver on the returns that you were asking from an investment standpoint. There's not a better team right now that can do that. And that's going to carry us forward. And that's going to get us to 100 hotels and beyond.
So speaking about that better team, Gray, we're here at the annual event. You got a lot of people out there having a great time. What do they want when they're working with you guys?
They want opportunities. They want transparency. They want good communication. And we're delivering on all of that.
Excellent. I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's really all about making people feel special. And I've been mingling with everyone and having a great time. And the culture here is absolutely fantastic. Everyone is really happy and laid back and comfortable. And I think that's really important, to set a scene for everyone to just be able to be themselves. And if you feel you could be yourself, I think we could all excel if we do that. Any final thoughts, guys?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers.
You.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. I'm going to do another show with Kerry this week, try to make up for whatever this was over here. So for Kerry, Gray, David, and myself, Glenn, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
That was awesome.